Oh, the streets are cold and grey, but the fire in our hearts won't stray from the pitch where dreams collide. We'll stand together side by side. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in, when the Spurs go marching in, I wanna be there in that number. Oh, when the Spurs go marching in.
Hello, welcome back to Project Spurs. That is back-to-back victories for Tottenham Hotspur. For the first time since the first two games of the Premier League season, we are officially out of the bottom three. And we've also acquired a new signing in Ian, has joined us as well. The six of us here now on Project Spurs. Back-to-back victories, as I say. Sai's got his hat on again. No stripping today. Phil's looking happy. But biggest breaking news of all, Joseph has a smile on his face. Incredible. Incredible. We need to save it. We need to clip it. Everything we can for Joseph right now. Unbelievable. So happy. I personally just did not see that coming. The performance today was outstanding. But as I said, it's the first time since the first two games of the season that we've recorded back-to-back victories. That's now 7 points under Roberto De Zerbi in the 4 games in charge. It's an incredible turnaround under him so far. But Ian, good to start with you. Welcome to Project Spurs. 2 wins in the last 2. How are you feeling? Just need to unmute yourself if you can, Ian. Great start from Ian on his debut at Project Spurs. He has muted himself, can't unmute, and now he's blocked his camera. He's completely lost it. He can't unmute. Unmute, Ian. Ian, you're muted. You're still muted, Ian. Yep. Ian, unmute you.
Ian, we can't even unmute you, mate. You've muted your fucking self, for fuck's sake.
Book him. He's still chatting away.
Oh, my God.
He hasn't realised yet. Ian, we can't hear you. Unmute yourself, Ian.
Gary, did you not hear the music?
No.
Gary, where do you want to start?
Well, where you just was talking for the last 3 minutes would be very, very handy because we ain't heard a word you just said. But
okay. I had it all queued up as well.
I'm sure you did. Ian, welcome to Project Spurs. That's great for the 300 people that are watching so far. We've not only seen Joseph smile, we've seen Sai's top hat back on, and now you have completely messed the first 3 minutes up. But Ian, welcome to the show. How do you feel about back-to-back victories?
Delighted to be here. What a difference a new manager makes. What a difference a manager and a coach that understands the game, understands the club, can motivate the players, can put tactics together that we all believe in. These players were never as bad as the results that we got, even with half a squad. They should never, ever have been in this position. And so much credit to Roberto De Zerbi with his tactics, with his organisation, with his motivation. Christ, even Mickey van der Ven looks like he's up for it, which he hasn't done for weeks. I can't praise that man, and I can't praise these players enough. I mean, we are down to the bare bones, but that midfield triumvirate, that's a good word, isn't it? Triumvirate of Conor Gallagher, Palhinha, and Bentancur were absolutely exceptional. Conor rightly named man of the match. Goal, that first touch. Villa had other things on their mind, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And we beat them, and we beat them well. Tell looking really good. Yeah, there's more we need from Moani. Rishi puts in a great shift. Big Kevin Danso is just a man mountain at the back. 2 fullbacks were very, very good. Kinski was rubbish only because he had nothing to do. I mean, seriously, had nothing to do. Phenomenal. I mean, I'm almost saying now I don't see us going down. I mean, crazy though that may seem from where we've been. West Ham's next 2 games are at home to Arsenal and away to Newcastle. Bottom line is, unless they win one of those, if we beat Leeds, they can't catch us. From absolute oblivion, we're at a point now where we actually ought to stay up. I mean, it's crazy how this game goes, but maybe why we love it. But if we beat Leeds, I don't see a roadmap back for West Ham at all, because I don't see them getting many more points.
I mean, I completely agree with you. We've got to go into next week all guns blazing and really use the performance we saw today. Obviously, our group chat was going crazy today between the 6 of us during that game. I thought it was arguably one of our best performances. Joseph, just coming to you, you felt it probably was one of the best performances of the season from Tottenham, and it's come really on the back of renewed hope, I guess is the best word of saying it, with De Zerbi in charge.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was going into that game fully expecting a loss. I think a lot of us were. I mean, I was pleasantly, not surprised, but I was pleased to see that, Villa did rotate slightly. They had a couple of players that you would expect to start most games on the bench, but it doesn't take away from the performance that we put in that, especially in that first half. That was the best 45 minutes I've seen from Tottenham all season. Unbelievable. Just the running with the ball, the movement off the ball. It was the first time we've really seen any kind of movement off the ball all season. It genuinely felt like, players passing it and moving. We just haven't seen it at all. And it was just completely different to anything we've seen all season. And it was unbelievable. They had complete confidence in themselves. They all knew the plan. They all knew exactly what everybody was going to be doing. They seemed like they were on the same page. For once, we played as a team. Didn't feel like 11 individuals out there. It felt like a team unified and staying up. And I was so happy to see. Obviously, again, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. There's still 3 games left, and Tottenham need to play exactly the same as that in all 3 of those games if they want to stay up. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say, everything's going to be fine now. We don't know what can happen in football, but if we can play like that for the rest of this season, there is no reason why we can't go and win the next 3 games. We could easily go win the next 3 games playing like that. It was unbelievable, and I'm so happy that we finally got something out of him. De Zerbi looks like he's really got a tune out of him finally, because that the Wolves game previously, it was quite worrying because we did not look great. We didn't perform very well. I know we got the result and that was great, but the actual performance in it looked like 2 championship sides. But that game there, that looked like a Premier League team. That looked like Premier League players, and I'm just so relieved. I'm so happy we finally got a performance we can be proud of. I mean, you heard those away fans throughout the game, but especially at the end. I mean, it's like we finally had a game that we can, fully be proud of this team. And that's all we wanted. There was so much effort in that game from the Tottenham players. And that's something that we've lacked throughout this season. And it's unbelievable to see. So, I mean, there's loads to get into. Just finally happy for us to really be talking about a win that we can be proud of for the first time probably on the channel. You're muted, Gary.
It clearly is the best performance we've had since the channel started. That's for sure, isn't it, Phil? Just coming to you, Phil. I put out on social media during it. For me, work rate, heart, desire, togetherness is all top class tonight. Everything we didn't have under Thomas Frank.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in a bit of shock, really, because I hoped they would obviously turn up tonight, and you could see the impact that De Zerbi's had. Even in the last couple of games, obviously Brighton was an outstanding performance, really, as well. To be honest, we should have won that. Wolves was a bit concerning, as Joseph said, but you could still see we had some good phases in that match. Obviously, we came away with a win in the end, and even the Sunderland game, I think we were unlucky not to get a point in that one. So, you can see what De Zerbi was doing ahead of this game. And then obviously we've been hit with Xavi injury and, things like that as well, which haven't helped. So I was hopeful that we'd go into that game. But of course, at the moment, we just don't really still know what kind of Tottenham team is going to turn up and whether we're going to play consistently, right, over a whole half or over a whole game. And I'm just kind of in a bit of shock because I was hopeful, and I thought we'd be good for a point today. You know, I was thinking, you know, obviously with Villa's changes and, you know, only a couple of changes really. I know they made you know, there's a few starters that weren't in that team, but it's still a decent team. You know, they still want to get Champions League through the league, right? They need, you know, they should be focusing on that. And you could see that Emery was really pissed off, actually, right, and frustrated with his team. But I honestly think we blew them away. You know, it's easy to say Villa were poor, but I don't believe in that. I think that they were shocked themselves to see us come out like we did. And to be frank, in that first half, should have been 3-0. It could have been 4 or 5-0. We absolutely demolished them in that first half. And, you know, as you just said and put online, I mean, everything worked. The attitude of the players, the energy of the players, the pass and move, as Joseph said, right? That is the first time that I've seen, you know, players running into space, either down the wings or even whoever's up front trying to do little runs, you know, us trying to pick them out with either a mid-range pass or a little passing out the side and then inside. And we did not give the ball away today. We did not give the ball away today. I cannot remember, you know, there was a misplaced ball from Sarr after he came on, and I can't remember us like giving the ball away in that first half as an example. And this is the first time we've seen it certainly in, you know, since Frank came into the club. If I'm being honest, you know, we weren't good last season either, right? And we didn't have that many games where we blew teams away. That is the best Spurs performance that I have seen in, you know, since, to be honest, probably since the beginning of the Ange era, especially if you bear in mind the players that are injured at the moment on our creative side. And therefore, shocked, obviously very happy. And yeah, as Ian said as well, I mean, right now it's in our hands, and we need to go to Leeds. We need to go, you know, and approach the Leeds game and get the job done. And under this development, Zerbi, under the way that we're developed over these 4 games, I mean, it's actually an insane step up, right? It's an insane level of him getting us back to being a football team again, a functional football team.
Absolutely. Cal, just coming to you, I know a lot of people, you know, look online or even maybe us in the group chat were slightly concerned with where the creativity might come from today. But the creativity really came from that high press, and that was a press that was outstanding. Villa couldn't deal with that press, and the goals obviously not coming from that, but that was adamant, well, quite clear in terms of the approach that De Zerbi's brought in. Conor Gallagher, that was his best performance in a Tottenham shirt by an absolute country mile today. His energy, work rate, desire to close the ball down, and then the finish as well in the first half, Cal. Outstanding from him today.
Where do I start? Wax lyrical. Let's put it that way. We are all over the moon. Yes, the creativity. We thought we'd be scared. We forced mistakes from Villa. We pushed them back. We made Martinez look like the actual keeper he is. Conor Gallagher is a workhorse. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan. I'm still not, but definitely, like you say, best performance in a Spurs shirt for him, barring maybe that City game with the Scorpion kick from Solanke. So they did what we asked them to do. The midfield, high press, high resistant, ran out of steam in the end, but ran their hearts out. I mean, what more can you ask? Richarlison, in their faces, tell this guy is special. So happy with him. And maybe if he was a little bit more composed and a little bit older and experienced, like we were saying in the backstage, could have probably had 1 or 2 himself. Kolo Muani, still a pain in the backside, but was a thorn in Villa's side for probably 55 minutes. And that classy act he did with the Spurs fans at the front of taking pictures as well. That's what you want from your players, showing that the players are with the fans, nothing apart from it. defence weren't really needed. Pedro Porro looked decent on the right-hand side, but my God, having Destiny Udogie back playing as a natural left back instead of Jed Spence in a converted clusterfuck way, we are happy. We are happy people tonight. I am happy. I have got the goatee going on. I am not shaving this until post-season, hopefully. I will have a beard. I'm not stripping with Si with his plans, but I mean, we are happy. We've got a bank holiday weekend. We've got a day off work tomorrow, and we're actually doing it in a nice way instead of a moody, miserable way, how we have been for so long. And it's 2 back-to-back wins. What more could we ask for?
Well, some of us might have a little bit longer off work this week, but that's another conversation to have. But Si, just coming to you, what a first half performance. I think second half was more about just work rate, desire, and collectiveness. But the first half, I just felt we blew them away. I think not only did we shock them, we shocked ourselves.
To be fair, Gaz, first things first. We won again, guys. We won again. 2 wins on the trot. First time since the first 2 games of this season. You know what I mean? It is all aboard the De Zerbi Express. Woo, woo! It is unbelievable, guys. The desire, the pressing from the lads today at Villa Park.
I mean, Si.
Unbelievable.
How much have you had to drink, for fuck's sake?
I think Si might have had a beer or 2 today. I think. I'm not sure.
Unbelievable pressing, guys. The 3 midfielders, Benton Kerr, Polinia, Conor Gallagher, big shout out for them 3, because I thought the pressing from them, as it was from all the other 7 players, Barkinski, was unbelievable. We have got a team to be proud of at the moment. Do you know what I mean? 2 wins on the trot, and come on, you know
that's on the back as well.
We can win next week, easy.
That's on the back of a point at home to Brighton, where really, if we'd have held on for 3 minutes, that could have been 3 wins on the bounce, which is huge for us. Obviously, it wasn't. But it's been refreshing, just the way he is. Ian, in his press conferences, he's refreshing. The way he handles himself, everything about it is refreshing. It shows to me he's a big-time manager.
100%, Gary, 100%. I mean, one of the things that annoyed me, a lot of things annoyed me about Thomas Frank. It started with the day he was appointed, and it never got any better. But I mean, Thomas Frank was always so negative. It was always about the opposition. We'll lose football matches and what have you. This guy, you know, we talk a lot, and this is business stuff. You know, we talk a lot about PMA, positive mental attitude, and he has it in spades. He absolutely has it in spades. He believes in himself. He believes in the club. He believes in the players. The players obviously believe in him. And what we're seeing is something completely different. I mean, I've, talked about this when I was hosting Sunday nights on Diehards, that for me, it ended. I think you guys were on. A couple of you guys were on. It ended for Thomas Frank when Jed Spence and Mickey van der Ven just blanked him after the Chelsea game. And that was in November. And then you hear stuff from the dressing room. The players are fed up with hearing how good the opposition is. They want to find out from the manager what the tactics are to go and beat the opposition. I get the feeling with Roberto De Zerbi, he doesn't think there's a club in the world he's not good enough to take on and beat. And that's really echoing through with his players. I mean, I said on our group chat, we will survive this. I'm absolutely convinced we'll survive. And I really can't wait for this man to have a proper season with his own squad of players. I think the sky's the limit under this man. I know he can be difficult. He's an Italian. He's temperamental, excuse me, etc., etc. But if we can just get through the next couple of weeks, I think the future is really, the future's bright, the future's lily white under this man.
Well, let's certainly hope so. There is just under 800 of you watching at the moment. We are going to hear from the man of the match, Conor Gallagher.
Talk to us about De Zerbi's influence and sort of the way he plays, the style he plays, and how you are all adapting to that.
I can't speak highly enough of him. He's been so good. Every player in the squad has taken to him. Everyone trusts him. He makes you feel good, confident. He's bringing the best out of players, and it's only the start. Hopefully, we can keep learning from him and build a great team.
Yeah, does it feel like this is all coming together? All right, we know the situation you're in, but this is the perfect time to be stringing those results together. Listen to the fans; they're still here singing.
It's so good to see. They've obviously had a really tough time this season, along with us. I mean, we're all one, and we're really happy to give them this feeling tonight, and hopefully it can be the start of something great.
Obviously, that's Conor Gallagher, the man of the match today. Cal, obviously, we just spoke about Conor and his performance, but what I quite liked about that is how he's talked about the influence that De Zerbi's had on everybody individually, and I think that is quite telling in the fact that we desperately needed him when we sacked Thomas Frank, but we've got him now, and let's hope that the positive influence he's having on this squad continues for the remaining 3 games.
Yeah, no, of course. Actually, having De Zerbi back then, I mean, I'm not his biggest fan. I do think he's volatile at times, but the influence he's had has been tenfold. We was a bit toothless in the Sunderland game, but then in the Brighton game, we saw the first patterns of play, and it was just bad luck at the end and tiredness. The Wolves game, very crucial performance and dedication, especially from Anthony Kinski. And then this one, you could actually see the influence he has had, the high press, the high tempo, the all action. And this is with no disrespect to our squad, a squad that is probably 45% of who we would want. We wouldn't want Basuma in there. We probably were thinking João Paulinho was going to could have been leaving at the end of this season. The performances they're putting in for it are amazing. And with Conor Gallagher, who we have to say is probably a captain at every club that he's been to, or a leader in the dressing room, to actually say that about the actual manager is brilliant. So De Zerbi has had the influence we want. We need to keep backing him, keep going. We're still not out of it yet, but he's definitely going in the right direction for it.
Absolutely. And like he said here to TNT Sports, these 2 wins, I think, and I hope it mean that we can play with a bit more confidence. We'll hear from Roberto De Zerbi.
Roberto, congratulations. That must feel like a massive win for Spurs today.
Yeah, for sure, because we played against Aston Villa. Aston Villa is a very good team. A lot of very good players, great manager. But we played very well 60 minutes, I think, without the ball, with the ball very well. And then we suffer Watkins, we suffer Bondia. We consider a goal. The only bad thing on the pitch was the goal we conceded. No, we could score more goals, especially in the first half. But I'm pleased for this performance for my players. I know how much they suffer in this season, and for that I'm very proud.
What pleased you the most about the performance? Is it what you are trying to translate to the players you can see happening on the pitch?
The high pressure, for sure, because the high pressure is not like courage, it's like mentality. And then in ball possession, because we played very, very well with calm when we had to attack the space or to go to shoot. We did. When we had to keep the ball, we did. And I love playing football now, because especially if you have this player on the squad, my job is to help them put them in the right condition to play, to show what they are capable to do.
Conor Gallagher getting his first goal for Spurs as well. All these, well, major milestones, but also just small things as well that build up to create this confidence that you've been speaking about and wanting to change the mentality.
But Gallagher, when Gallagher played well, we play in 12 players because he's an amazing player. I think today also Colomani and Matistel, they played a fantastic game. Joao Palini and Betancourt were incredible. The two central back with the ball and without the ball. I'm really pleased.
How important is it you are now out of that relegation zone?
Nothing, because it's not finished yet. The season we have to play another 3 games, very tough games. Starting Monday night with Leeds. Leeds is playing very well. Is deserving to stay in this position on the table, and we can't forget what was the situation before Wolverhampton. And before Wolverhampton was very, very sad situation, and these memories has to stay in our head every day in this week, especially in this week after this win.
You just mentioned you've got Leeds there next. It's at home. From your observations of what you've seen, why do you think it's been tough for Spurs at home this season, and how do you change that?
I don't know. I can answer you. In my experience, there was just one time we have played at home, and the atmosphere in our stadium has been fantastic. Was amazing stadium. I think it was a mental problem, and this win, I think, and I hope we can play with more confidence, with better mentality, playing better with the ball, and with the same courage, with the same attitude.
I think he speaks really well. Again, every time he comes out, he speaks well. He's, in my opinion, Joseph, he's understood the team from a fan standpoint in terms of what we've all been saying, and he's understood that inside a month.
I think he just understood the severity of the job. It feels like throughout this season, I think managers, the club, maybe the players have kind of tried to skirt around the severity of the situation. I feel like we haven't played like a team that is close to getting relegated. And I think he's just come in and gone, guys, this is really shit. We're in this situation and we need to get out of it. There's no excuses. There's nothing we can do other than put our heart into it and do everything we can to win football games. And that's the kind of energy he gives off when he's on the touchline in his interviews and everything. And that's what we're seeing from the team, especially in that game. You know, those players, they wanted it more. That was one of the first games I can think of all season where we were winning the second balls, because we never used to do it. We never usually do it. And in that game, we wanted it more than Villa did. We completely wanted it more than they did. And yeah, maybe, again, people will say about rotation and things like this, about Villa rotating. Let's not forget that we are without Solanke, Xavi, you know, so many serious players, Romero, Maddison, Kulusevski, Kudus, like players that would all be starting on the pitch. Every single one of those would be starting. Yet he's got to do this with a team that it is a second choice Tottenham team, but they have quality, and he's got it out of them for the first time all season, because Frank was coaching them to death in a sense of he didn't allow them to even express themselves as footballers. And Igor Tudor just had no idea what he was doing once he got in. So it was just the fact of, you know, we finally got a manager who he really knows what he's doing. Every single manager talks about De Zerbi like a top quality, world-class manager. And look, I completely agree with the other guys. If we give him what he wants, and if we stay up, we give him what he wants, we could be going in the ascendancy. You don't know. The sky's the limit with Tottenham under this manager. It's just, do we trust Enoch to do that? I think all of us would be sitting here in about, 6-8 months thinking he'll be blowing things up because he's so pissed off that the board aren't backing him. But the fact is, if we do back him and we do give him what he wants, there's no reason why this team can't succeed. It's just that's what you need to do. But, you know, so happy with what he's done, what he's brought into this club. And it shows when you have a manager that truly knows what he's doing, he can get stuff out of these players. Because, look, I've criticised these players so much this season. I think deservedly so. And I think a lot of us have, because it hasn't been good enough all year. The players have not shown enough heart. They have not put enough effort in. But if they're going to be going out and doing that each week, even if you drop a point, I don't care, but you showed fight, and that's what we expect from our team, and I think that's what De Zerbi expects from his team too.
Yeah, there's been positive signs really from day one. Even at Sunderland, I know we lost, but I thought there was positive signs there. At home against Brighton, I mean, we just needed to hold on for 3 minutes, and there was a mentality issue there anyway, so there was a struggle, but there was a big signs. Obviously, we won playing poorly against Wolves. That's a good sign. And then today was pure dominance. So the signs have been there of what Roberto De Zerbi can bring to the club almost immediately. So
100%, guys. Like you said, from the Sunderland game, you could sort of see signs straight away. Brighton, very unlucky not to get those 3 points. I mean, I disagree with the Wolves game to a certain extent, because I think as soon as Wolves lost the ball, they had nothing to play for. They'd banked 5 and 4 at the back. You know, it was a case of us having to break them down. We ground out a 1-0 win, you know, which I'd take. But then today, against a team that wasn't sitting back and defending and wanted to play, we just showed our superiority. I mean, the pressing and the desire from every player, I just haven't seen that for a couple of seasons. It was just unbelievable, guys, absolutely unbelievable, and it just made me so proud to be a Spurs
absolutely.
fan. Yeah.
Phil, question in the chat for you, Phil. Are we playing better without Romero?
It's a good question. Romero is obviously very good at spreading the ball right from the back and passing, etc. And we've missed him in the past. I don't think it's easy to answer in terms of the fact that Danzo's in there instead of Romero, that we're just playing better as a team, because we've got Kinski in there as well, who's obviously come in a few matches ago and's kind of come in and brought solidity as well into the back line. I haven't been Romero's biggest fan this season, just because I personally, as I've said on the pod many times before, I just don't think he's a very good captain. I don't think he's a good role model. And I think that, I know he gets unfairly treated by refs as well, let's say, based on what's happened to him. But I think there's been a lot of occasions where he hasn't been the leader in the team that we need him to be. And look, I don't think it's as easy to say that just because Danzo's in there, you know, we're playing better at the back, because, as I said, Kinski's come in. De Zerbi, at the end of the day, even though De Zerbi is well known as a manager who obviously gets his teams, you know, keeping the ball, right, playing possession, you know, recycling it well, hitting, you know, with those little long balls where we need to, like he did today. De Zerbi is also well known, if you look back through his career, at getting the defence sorted or changing the defensive side quite quickly as well. And I think we have to give De Zerbi, you know, respect for basically making sure that back four, whoever's playing, obviously Udogie wasn't there recently. He was having him back is so big. But whoever's there, whether it's Romero and Van der Ven, or if it is obviously Big Kev coming in, you know, that he's managed to get just that structure at the back a lot more solid. And also the positioning of the back four, you know. You look at the line that we played today. We didn't play a high line particularly. It wasn't a crazy high line. It was very balanced. But I think a lot of respect as well and credit has to go to De Zerbi for just getting the tactics better in terms of like making the team more structured. And whether that's Whether I can clearly say that we're better without Romero, I don't think it's as easy as that. Romero is clearly a better overall. He's a better player than Big Kev, right? You know, I don't think we can debate that, right? But what Big Kev gives us is commitment, attitude, stepping up in the big moments, and he speaks, you know, what, 5 different languages. From what I've heard, Big Kev is an absolute, like, he's a leader in his own right, right? With the other players, you know, he binds the team together. So I've had nothing bad to say about Kev at all. I think he's come in and done a sterling job. He was unlucky, I think, with the Brighton. I know it was his mistake for the Brighton equaliser, but he was tired, and you know, he basically played his heart and soul that whole game, and it was just like a minute. You know, like, these things can happen. In an ideal world, you'd probably say if Romero is fit and he's, you know, obviously in a positive space, that he's going to strengthen the team. Maybe it's not a bad thing that he's not there at the moment, right? You know, if he was suspended or something and he was coming back into the team, then it'd probably be like very close to the team and to the first team and everything, and everyone would be debating it. But he's out for the season, right? And maybe it's not a bad thing, because when he's played, we've had a lot of negative press. We've had a lot of people debating the Romero issue. He has been the captain, and again, if it was my choice, I would have someone else as captain. But but again, I think De Zerbi and his team have to get the credit for just making that unit better tactically, in terms of where the fullbacks are sitting, where they're allowed to go, where they're not allowed to go, and maybe just making sure that Big Kev and Mickey have got more discipline right at the back there. And I think that De Zerbi, I think you can see that the structure is better, that it's there.
Yeah. Just coming to you, Ian, someone I'm really fond of. I think he's a great player. I think he goes kind of a little bit under the radar and perhaps gets a little bit too much criticism. Is João Palhinha. Again tonight, I thought he was outstanding. What's your thoughts on João Palhinha?
Yeah, can I just add a little bit about Big Kev, because I'm a Big Kev fan.
Sure.
And my daughter, you put a couple of her, Natalie Meth, she's commenting. I think she was really impressed as well with them, and the points that Phil has just come on about the defensive line and the way it's organised. Yeah, kept that back line beautifully. Absolutely. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Big Kev. I think he's one of those WYSIWYG players. What you see is what you get. He gives you 100%. He's not got any airs. He's not got any graces. He's a good old-fashioned centre half. Win the ball, clear your lines, and let the ball players play. Palhinha, yeah, I'm never quite sure about Palhinha, for no other reason than we've got this big £30 million option on him, and I'm not sure that's the best way, excuse me, of using our resources. But there is no doubt that when you're in this kind of crap, the players like Palhinha, who have been around the block a few times, are exactly the kind of player you need to bail you out and to show their experience and to help the younger players along. And one of the things, and I've probably said this to you guys on a couple of occasions, is that he's clearly made a decision. And one of the things that you can say under Anne, certainly under Frank, and a little bit under Tudor as well, there wasn't really any consistency of thought process as to what they were trying to achieve and why. It all seemed very much like seat of the pants stuff. I'll play this, I'll see if this works. Roberto De Zerbi, I'm a big fan of Bergvall. I am a massive, and you know this, a massive fan of Archie Gray. But he has taken the decision. This is the job for the most experienced players I can put on the park. The ones that have been round the block, seen the game, played it at the highest levels, are the ones I need to get me out of this. The kids can play another day, but I want the most experienced players to be playing. And with Gallagher, who's not an old man, but he's played in Europe, he's played for England, etc. Palhinha, experienced player, Bentancur, Uruguayan international. He is playing the players with absolutely the experience and the know-how to get us out, and he's been consistent with it. He said that's the way, I'm going to play. Those are the players that are going to play it, and he's believed in them, and they've repaid him in spades, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph, just coming to you. I was saying to my brother during the game as well that what I quite like is he's found his team, he's found his players, and despite if there's an injury come in, he ain't changing them. And I quite like that from him. And because we were seeing from Thomas Frank and from Tudor, it was kind of like every game it was something different. I mean, we would come on here, wouldn't we? Sometimes, like me and Carol would be like, well, we can't even guess the team. And that's kind of not what you want to, in a way, it's not really what you want, is it?
Especially in this situation. No, I mean, I echo everything that Ian said there. You know, the fact is, in this situation, you need the experienced heads that know what to do and can keep calm. I mean, Bentancur, I can't sing his praises enough because he completely and utterly changes the team when he plays. I mean, I know, Ian, you always say it, when he plays well, Tottenham play well. And you're right, you know, because he just brings a whole different calming nature to the team. Whenever he's on the ball, he can dribble with it well. He can pass it well. You just trust him. You trust him on the ball. And again, as much as I love Archie Gray and I love Bergvall, in this moment right now, you don't want him. You don't want them on the pitch in this kind of situation where any mistake they could make could be a reason we concede a goal. And it's just having those senior players that have been around the block, that know it, that have been in these situations, played in really high intense games. It's, you know, it's great to have those. But just in general, like with everything De Zerbi's doing, and like you said, having kind of a settled 11 is so important in this situation. I mean, I think with Igor Tudor, he never knew what was his right team. He never knew what the best 11 was to play, and he just couldn't figure out a system that worked for him. And I think he kept on experimenting with different things because he was just trying to get something out of them. But unfortunately, nothing was working. But it felt like De Zerbi, he found a system, and yeah, there was a couple, you know, growing pains with it in terms of the you know, moments against Brighton, against Wolves, but you know, and especially against Sunderland. But in this game, you could see the fruits of sticking with the team that you trust, and allowing them to, you know, just learn how to play with each other, trust one another. And again, we haven't seen enough of that because it has been changing so much. So yeah, just really impressive performance. The main thing, obviously, the result is it's completely, it's so hard. It's gold dust, that those 3 points, because if you look at it now, I mean, I'm not sure when someone might have to have a look at this when we play. I know obviously we've got Leeds on Monday night. I'm not sure when we play against Chelsea, but if we beat Leeds this weekend and Arsenal beat West Ham, well, if Newcastle beat West Ham the game before, we're safe before we play Chelsea. We could be safe if we beat Leeds. So realistically,
we've got Leeds on Monday night, and then we've got Chelsea the following Tuesday. In that time period, I think West Ham play Arsenal, and then they play the following Saturday. Let me just confirm that.
Fair enough.
So,
Well,
yeah, I mean that's a horrible kickoff, the Tuesday night one though, for any travelling fans, isn't it?
Yeah, so
it got moved because of the
Tuesday,
final.
and then they all play on the Sunday.
So West Ham is West Ham Arsenal the next Sunday, and then the following Sunday is the away fixture to Newcastle. So which is the 17th.
But let's be real. I mean, one win could possibly save us here. One win. I mean, if results go the way, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it definitely will, because look, I was going into this game not expecting us to win, and I don't think many of us were completely expecting us to win it. So West Ham could do something.
Joseph, if you look at the numbers, if we beat Leeds and Arsenal beat West Ham, the only way, because our goal difference is so vastly superior, the only way West Ham can survive is if they then beat Newcastle and then beat Leeds. They have to win those two games. If they drop a point in either of them, we don't need another point. And actually, I think we're more than capable, the way we played tonight, of getting something at Chelsea. And I would expect us to beat Everton as well. Beating Leeds is just so massive. If we beat Leeds, I don't see a scenario where we don't survive.
Definitely, but it will be a tough game. It will be a very tough game because Leeds are playing really well at the moment. You know, I'm sure they And I think the other thing as well, they know that if they win that game, they are 100% safe. I'm pretty sure it probably would be mathematically the same as well. And it's just, that's how, you know, they're going to be really up for it. And they've been performing so well in recent games. The way they play football is so impressive. We were all saying it last night, you know, talking about it, how well they're playing football. So it's definitely a tough game. Again, if you feel like
Leeds are currently 7 clear of West Ham in 18th. So in theory, Leeds probably do need one win. Well, I would have said they're probably safe as things stand anyway. Forest potentially could get dragged into it. Even Palace could get dragged in. There were 2 back-to-back losses now and a draw before that. Newcastle picked up an important win this weekend, so that might just help them as well. But it's going to be an important week coming up for both us and West Ham. There is 1,200 of you watching live at the moment, which I do really appreciate. If you wouldn't mind giving everybody on screen a follow on social media, mostly on Twitter, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, there's a lot of praise coming in for Bentancur, for Roberto De Zerbi in the comments, etc. So, just coming to you, who's your standout from today?
For me, it's Bentancur. To be honest, I think since he's come back from injury, it coincides with an uplift of our performances. I know earlier in the season we were debating whether or not the Bentancur Polinia combination worked, but I think it was more the manager and the way he wanted to play under De Zerbi. The attacking football he wants to play, playing them two together, just does not affect us. It solidifies it. I kept watching Polinia drop into the back three to let Porro, Udogie go forward. It was just them two and Conor Gallagher for me were the best 3 performers of the game. I don't know if you guys agree or not.
Yeah, Phil, coming to you, standout performer for you.
I agree on Bentancur generally. I think he's been a revelation since he came back into the team. He did everything that he had to do today perfectly, kept the balance and the team ticking over. I would have given the man of the match to Gallagher over him, though. I thought Gallagher was outstanding in everything that he did. We all knew that Gallagher is that pressing, you know, what's the word? Industrious, energetic, hassling kind of player that you don't want to play against, do you? You don't like playing against people. He's a terrier. That's the word I was looking for. You know, he's going to get in your face. He's going to make it difficult. He's going to give you little time on the ball. And he was outstanding from that today. He had never-ending energy. And his positional play was fantastic as well. As opposed to the first couple of games that he played for us, I would say, or even back towards the January Frank time, his positioning on the pitch has got better. So like he's making himself available for passes more. He's passing the ball a bit more progressively, I would say as well, generally. So he's obviously settling in better. But you know, he just proved with that touch on the goal at the beginning of the game again that he is a goal scorer, right? And he's proven in his career he comes up with important goals and he can play the number 10 role as he proved so ably at Palace that season when he was on loan. You know, in a team which wasn't amazing. You know, he scored quite a few goals, got a lot of assists. So for me today, I would have Gallagher as my absolute stand-up performer because I think his energy and his pressing just kind of, you know, he was a bit of a role model as well, right? Trailblazer for the rest of the team, you know, keeping that energy high, you know, not slowing it down too much when we needed to keep the pace high. And yeah, Bentancur a close second just with his class and his kind of calmness. And I thought when Bentancur went off again, you know, you can see it, right? As soon as Bentancur comes off, we don't look quite as comfortable.
And that happened against
they started
Brighton
playing
as well.
Exactly.
They started playing through the middle so easily. Basuma just doesn't keep the same position, and there's not the same kind of, you know, that feeling where he's going to intercept the ball like Bentancur does.
When you've got Bentancur in that midfield, it's like having another captain. because he was orchestrating the players and everything. It was fantastic.
Cal, just coming to you, were you surprised that Basuma came on and Archie Gray didn't?
No, in all honesty, I thought that and this is where I've got to be very, very level-headed with it. In that moment, you do want energy, but you also want experience and you want level-headedness. And no matter how much we criticize and condone what Basuma's done, you would probably turn realistically to Basuma as your option off the bench. I think it was probably a managerial decision that we would all make in that scenario, isn't it? We just needed composure, and I don't think it was fully great what Basuma did do, but having that person alongside Paulinho did sort of settle it down a little bit, because you could see that Bentancur was sort of struggling a little bit, but he'd run his legs off. Paulinho was starting to flag as well. So having someone like Basuma, who is a ball viper, and you just go run and go headless, it's the sort of option that we would have gone for. And I think it kind of worked. There was moments where he did put it out ridiculously, but we've seen that Archie can have some moments where he doesn't know how to pick a pass, where he does show his age, but that's just because he's young and his experience isn't there. Basuma, for all his faults, is a 28 or 29-year-old professional in the game, and he has played under De Zerbi as well. So that's he has played the last 2 games as well previous to this, so it was a bit of a difference to see him drop. So maybe that was all part of the game plan, realistically.
Maybe so. There is over 1,200 of you watching, which again we do really appreciate the support. Obviously, the first time in quite a while that all of us have been together, and obviously Ian joining us now, so there's 6 of us. So first one on the board, first win. Ian, just finishing with you. Roberto De Zerbi did say, let's go for 5 in a row. He's got 2. Do you reckon we can do it? There's
no reason why not. 2 of them are home games, and there's no such thing as an easy game, let's be honest. Even Everton in the last game. But just the way this team is playing now, and the confidence and the belief, Leeds will be hard, but I would, on this form, expect us to beat them. Chelsea, who knows what Chelsea will turn up, but we've probably got as good a chance of beating Chelsea as we have any time in the last 25, 30 years or whatever. And Everton at home, again, they're a decent side. They're challenging for Europe and what have you. But I would expect, particularly if we're safe, there'll be a real party atmosphere at Tottenham. And actually, it's one of those games where you might think we might actually blow someone away. There is no reason why not. At the moment, I will happily take another 4 points, because another 4 points is at least guarantees us to stay up, unless something miraculous happens at West Ham and they start beating teams they've got no right to beat, like Arsenal. I just don't see that. So, it can happen. At the moment, all I'm happy is we're out of the relegation zone. We've got easier games to play than West Ham has. If we survive, which for the first time in a little while I'm starting to think we might, we can take the summer and rebuild. Winning 5 in a row, that would be fantastic. But let's get to the summer. Let's reset. Let's look who our owners are going to be, who our directors are going to be, who our medical staff, directors of football, and our playing staff are going to be, and build from there.
Absolutely. Si, just coming to you, obviously the head of the Roberto De Zerbi Express. We could do 5 in a row. There's obviously been a lot of promise. I think the performances have been very, very encouraging. Where's your head at the moment? Do you think, being in mind that we're 1 point ahead plus a lot better goal difference, do you think we can do it?
First things first, I think if he'd come in weeks earlier, I don't think we'd have been in this position. If De Zerbi had come in when we wanted him, we wouldn't be in this position. I honestly believe that we will stay in the Premier League. I think the performances the past few games are warranted the belief from all of us to believe that we will stay up. And even when he speaks in the interviews, he just gives you so much confidence as a fan. And for once, after the last two managers we've got someone who completely knows what he's doing. And if we do survive, like Ian said, I think the club needs to refocus in the summer completely, and they need to totally just strip back the basics, and they need to go and they need to spend money and get us back where we belong. 100%. I believe we'll stay up. I do. I really do.
I was probably, what did I say? I think it was after the Sunderland game, I felt that we were done. Now, it's crazy that in a space of 10 days, 2 weeks, I've completely changed that scenario, because not only are the performances coming there and you can see the influence that he's having, but the results are coming. This is 7 points in 3 games. Like I say, this is the first back-to-back victories, Cal, since the opening 2 games in the Premier League, which is against Burnley and Manchester City. We haven't won 2 games in a row in the Premier League since then.
Can I just quickly say, guys?
Sure.
I think for me, the results are so important, but like you just said, it's the performances that we're getting the results. That's what gives us the most confidence. Seeing what the players are doing at the moment.
Originally, I didn't care, Cal, about performances. It was just, let's get these points on the board. But we're now starting to see some clear evidence and clear signs that the players are all in. And you see and hear from Conor Gallagher just then, where he was saying, we're all in on this. And just a little one I'm going to put up on the screen. Xavi Simons on Instagram, 3 points. Everybody's feeling the De Zerbi effects. Where's your head at the moment? Because I know you're a bit like me. You thought we're perhaps maybe gone. Has that mind changed a little bit?
The belief's always been there. It's just the doubt that always creeps in. And what we're seeing now, we're seeing belief from the players. We're seeing belief from fans. We're seeing points that we didn't or would never have gotten under Tudor. So I know that'll make Joseph happy, which is a very steep feat in any of our lives. We're seeing results. We're also seeing consistency. We're seeing a consistent 11. We're seeing consistent patterns of play on the field as well. We are starting to see ideas of De Zerbi's coming in. We know it's not going to be perfect. We know there will be moments of madness or moments where other teams can get at us. It was still not perfect today. We was mentally fragile for about 15 minutes at the end. I think that a lot of that was tiredness. We obviously did also get another lack of a clean sheet, which I do take offence to. But that's more that the facts, the ref, and I know Ian is an ex-ref. So this is no offence to refs, but refs are wankers this year to us in no uncertain terms. That whistle should have gone. But when we are looking at it as a whole, we are grinding out the results to make ourselves look where we should be. These are the results that will get us the points on the board to gradually get out of a very poor season. We're not going to... We can't... Oh, sorry.
Good. No, carry on. Sorry, I thought you changed.
Yeah, we can't sugarcoat this year. It's been crap. The end of last year was crap, apart from the season, apart from the Europa League. But what we're doing now is we're trying to build some momentum up to get us through to the end of the season. We get to the summer. Hopefully the Chuckle brothers and half the morons in the medical team and whatever departments are there, they are moved out again. We'll have a full reshuffle. All of us will get jobs at the club because I know that they're probably up for grabs. We've seen enough on LinkedIn ads going. But what we will see is hopefully a belief coming in across all levels of the club behind backing the manager. now.
Well,
That's what we're crying out for.
I'm back inside to be the new psychologist because I'm sure you're getting pissed every night. So bring some energy to their
most
to
of our
their
players
weeks.
will be nicked on the M25 for speeding and drunk driving.
Yeah,
that's how bad
true.
it'll be if we put Sai in charge.
Well, Sai's work permit hasn't come in. He's like the other Italians that are still stuck on the plane. So Sai, you're out. I'm going to give it to Phil. I think he's level-headed with his special supplements he takes and freebies he keeps getting from Amsterdam. So we'll see on there. Joseph, you've been one that is, I guess, resigned that we might have been going down. How are you feeling? We're gonna close up now because obviously we're going for an hour. But Joseph, we're going to end with you. Where's your head at now?
Yeah, I feel a lot more positive about the idea of staying up. But I think the same way De Zerbi said it in his press conference, you know, as much as this win is unbelievable and we should be happy with it, we've still got 3 games to go, and those are 3 really tough games. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and think, you know, let's look forward to next season and look forward to, you know, wholesale change and hope things can improve. I think we've got a job to do, and this is still a team with a lot of injuries. Again, players having to play a lot of minutes. It's going to be tough. I think we've still got a massive job to do. And the thing is, like, as much as I don't, you know, I thought that West Ham game, the fact they lost 3-0, I was really hoping it would kind of put a damper on them, and I'm hoping that will be the case against Arsenal as well. But West Ham have been playing all right. They're not a terrible team. They could easily go get some points in some of these games. Maybe not against Arsenal, but at Leeds at home and Newcastle away, there's no reason why they couldn't pick up points in those games. So, yeah, I want to sit here and say, yeah, I think we're going to stay up. And I do believe that we can. I just think we need to see that level of performance again next week. We need to see it again on the Tuesday. We need to see it again the next week after that. So it's just, again, it's great to see such a great performance. And again, the players really showing that heart and desire that we've all wanted them to for such a long time. But again, I'm going to be steady and be like, okay, let's see how we go against Leeds. Because if we get a win, if we play like that against Leeds and get a win, I do believe that we can stay up at that point. But yeah, we need to go and get that. And then before that game, I can't sit here and go, we're going to stay up, because you just don't know. You don't know what Tottenham's going to turn up every week. Yeah. So yeah, positive. But, you know, we just got to take this game, just like De Zerbi said, we're happy with it, but we move forward. The next game on Monday is so important. And that's the energy that we need every one of those players to have too.
Phil, I'm going to end with you. This is for really one of the first times what feels like, especially this year, it's completely in our hands now, isn't it? This is completely down to us now. It's in our hands.
We've managed to turn it around, haven't we? So that we have that situation. I think when we conceded that goal against Brighton, we were all positive, weren't we, after the performance? You know, we deserved that win, but when you give away a goal like that in the 95th minute or whatever it was, for 2 points to then kind of drop below, it wasn't a good feeling at that moment. And we've somehow, I mean, look, who really genuinely expected us to beat Wolves away and then follow that up by beating Villa away? There's 2 wins away, and 2 wins away, to be honest, at grounds where, regardless of what form is, regardless of anything else, we don't win that often, right? In recent years there, Villa have obviously been a good team. Wolves just typically could easily have got a draw out of that based on our form and everything else. So, it's in our hands, and, I've been saying for a while that I believe we'll stay up somehow. Somehow we're going to pick up the wins that we need and probably just be better in some ways than West Ham or Forest or whoever it is. The thing is, now we do have it in our hands, and with those possibly slightly unexpected wins, as I said, I don't think you'll find many fans who would have put their mortgage on, well, not even just put their mortgage on, I said put like a put a fiver on or whatever, right, on us winning, potentially either of those games, right, based on how we've been. So we're sitting there pretty now with those 7 points. And as we say, as Joseph says, it comes down to Leeds though, right? Because if we don't beat Leeds, like, any team, as we know in the Premier League, can still pull a result out of anywhere. And even though we all believe that West Ham are going to lose to Arsenal, Like, stranger things have happened, right? Stranger things
They
have
certainly
happened.
have.
If West Ham pull a win out and we get a draw at home to Leeds, do you know what I mean? Like, we then still, like, we have to go to Chelsea probably and get something, and we have to beat Everton for sure at the end on the last day of the season. So there is a long way to go. I'm confident we're going to stay up just because of the progression shown by De Zerbi and the fact that the players are all bought in and the fans are feeling more positive now. You know, we've got a bit more feel-good factor. You know, De Zerbi's helping, obviously. So I think we're going to stay up. I think we're going to beat Leeds. I think West Ham are going to lose to Arsenal. And for what it's worth, I think we'll beat Everton on the last day of the season, probably anyways.
Well, I'm going to be at both the home games, so I'm hoping that they are 2 home victories, especially against Leeds. I think I agree with Joseph, agree with you, Phil. I think Leeds is absolutely massive for this season. As a win there, I think that's pretty much secure for us. But there is about 14, just under 1,400 of you watching right now, which we really, really do appreciate. It's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Ian's official debut with us as well. Which we're very grateful for. From the 6 of us, obviously, you can follow us all there on social media. We'd be very appreciative. We all like to chat and talk about Tottenham online. Adrian was right in his prediction as well. He predicted a 2-1 victory. So well done, Adrian. I actually did a 1-1. I'd have took a 1-1, but I'm bloody happy we got a 2-1, that's for sure. But Cal, me and you are off to the under-21s on Friday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're in the semi-finals of the Premier League 2 Cup, potentially against West Ham. I can't remember who the other team is now. Is
it
gone out of my
Brighton?
head.
It could be Brighton, I think it is.
I think the game's tomorrow, and I know it could be
Yeah.
West Ham. I think it's Brighton or West Ham. So tickets are on sale, £10 each or £2 for kiddies. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Friday. If you're about, do come down. Be a good game. See some of the future talents, and let's hope that we can get another cup because our under-16s won the under-16s Premier League Cup at the weekend. We beat Fulham at Fulham 5-3 after going 3-1 down. Came back to beat them in extra time 5-3 to win the under-16s Cup. So absolutely fantastic. Well done to all of them. But yeah, a win for the under-16s, a win for us in the first team, hopefully a win for the 21s on Friday, and then the big one on Monday night against Leeds. So from myself, Cal, Phil, Joseph, our resident Brummie, Si, and our new boy, the horrible referee, Ian. Thank you all for joining. 1,400 of you. Thanks very much. Have a lovely evening. And obviously, all aboard.